Today, it is my pleasure to introduce Raj Uppalapati, who goes by Up, who is a candidate for Selectman in Shrewsbury. Raj lives with his wife and two daughters in Shrewsbury. He has a degree from Harvard and a career in information technology. He has been a Beale School parent and council member. He has been very actively engaged in the town of Shrewsbury, and now he is standing for elected office. To find out more about him, please go to www.rajupp.us. Welcome to Lokwani. Namaste, Raj.
Namaste.
It's such a pleasure to meet somebody who is running for office. I am so thrilled, and I look forward to celebrating with you when you win. So tell me a little bit, what is it that you hope to accomplish? I mean, as a selectman, because it's a lot of work. You have a busy career. You are actually running your own company, and at the same time have a family. So what is motivating you to give more time to the town of Shrewsbury?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show, Rajniji. This is my pleasure to be here today and be able to reach out to a few Indian Americans from across Massachusetts, and particularly in Shrewsbury, where I'm running for the Board of Selectmen. I'm running this because I feel I'm very connected to this town of Shrewsbury. I've been in this town for the last 10 years. My wife and I have two children, ages 5 and 7, two wonderful children, I should say. They keep us very busy. And in this busy life, I felt there is this need of the hour of giving back to the society that I feel I'm a part of. And I have a close friend close group of friends here in Shrewsbury, whom I connect to very professionally, as well as at a scale, where I discuss several political things as well.
Yeah.
How to resolve the issues, the
Right.
society issues around me. And this has prompted me this has been my passion ever since my arrival here.
Yeah.
And this has prompted me to spend a little part of my time, of my everyday time, on the issues that we face as a society, and if we can change something there by being part of the Board of Selectmen.
That's great. I mean, don't sit and complain. Become part of the solution rather than part of the problem. I love that. I think that's an excellent thing to do. So what are your top priorities when you become selectman?
Well, I have 3 priorities right now that I think are the topmost priorities for this particular town.
Yeah.
Number 1 being the tax rate increase. Recently, we've had a tax rate increase, and a lot of our seniors with fixed income are feeling kind of double whammy, because, as you all know, the inflation that has been seen nationwide, in fact, global inflation that we see across the board has increased the price of daily needs, such as food, everything else around us. Food, clothing, heating. These are the top things for residents of Massachusetts. And along with that, when your property taxes increased, that's when it becomes a double whammy for some of our from seniors with fixed income. And that is the top priority. And the second one being the water quality issues. So Shrewsbury has always been at the bottom. I should not say at the bottommost, but at the bottom quarter of if you take water quality as a parameter. So I've heard a lot of complaints since the last 10 years I've arrived here about how we should improve our water quality. How it's how our town population, the residents, have become increasingly they don't have the confidence level
Yeah.
in using the
Sure.
water to for the daily needs,
Sure. Sure.
leave alone drinking. I mean, when our water quality is so bad because the odor and the color associated with it, that's when people feel
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
That's when people feel a real urgency needs to be. I mean, it needs to be discussed at and resolved at an urgent level.
Yeah. Yeah. And your third priority, you said there were three that were important to you. So water
Yeah.
and tax, and the third one would be.
The third word would be what we all love as Indian Americans: the education of our kids. By education, I mean an all-round education. I understand that our Indian American, we have only one tendency, that is um, to to make them study, go to school, make them study, see them at an Ivy League if
Yeah.
possible, if not the better ones out there.
Yeah.
However, being from an Ivy League myself, I would love for every kid to get that level of opportunity, and this we can provide by not only making the AP level courses available for everyone across the board, whoever wants to
Yeah.
take them up, but also make sure there is an all-round development of the
Yeah.
kids that are going into our schooling system.
Sure. I'm
And
all about that. I think what we really, need those extra opportunities to make that all-round development. So now you're talking about fixing the water quality, improving the offerings at the school. So how would we do that while managing a low tax rate? It seems like they are kind of opposing.
excellent question, I should say. This is what every parent I met, every other member
Yeah.
who was contesting for this election has in their thought process, like how are you going to achieve this?
Yeah.
And I think we should see this from a overall perspective of things. Like when as a as an IT professional, I have I mean, as an IT professional, everyone has access to the data.
Yeah.
We can use this data to resolve these issues. So one of the solutions that we came across when we tried to analyze this data across Massachusetts is we stand 17th in the school rating system
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. And what I've noticed is the top 15 schools in Massachusetts, most of them uh, share schools,
Yeah.
and and uh, they do this because they are able to share schools with better schooling systems in the neighborhood, or so that they make themselves in the top.
Yeah.
They
More resources, two towns pulling their resources together, you're saying. Yeah. Great.
exactly.
Great idea.
So I, I don't know if Shrewsbury has considered this in the past. I've never come across in my experience here. However, what I think we should do is we should pursue that, not take it out off the
Yeah.
table
Table.
completely. We should pursue that goal because we have some very good towns
Yeah.
right next to us that are very good, that have very good schools
Yeah. That's a
compared
great
to
idea.
ours. Yes.
It's an innovative solution, I think. So I think I love it when technologists run for office, because I do think we look at data and provide solutions, and I'm a little partial to technologists. So I think that's a good thing. So, and I think most Indians are. So knowing that their Indian American selectman understands that data and is going to have a very data analytical approach to solutions is a good thing, I think. So great, more power to you. And I think you seem to think that you can accomplish everything based on the data. You do see the opportunities, how you can cut tax rates while at the same time increasing the services like you did. One of the questions I had is, you're Indian American. I mean, this is not common for Indian Americans to run for office. And when you win, you will be one of the very few Indian American selectmen, definitely for Shrewsbury, I think the first Indian American selectman. Tell me, Bob, is being an Indian American an advantage or a challenge?
Well, if I look at it holistically, it's both an advantage as well as a disadvantage. So the advantage is we have so much talent,
Yeah.
talented people all around us. So all my friends here have been in this journey together with me. It's not just me.
Yeah.
So I should thank my team. My campaign team comprises almost of 25 people.
Wow. Wow.
And majority of them are Indian Americans.
Wow.
And they have, I mean, it's a complete thought process that arises out of different ideas put together. When you turn them through an Indian American group, you would come out with a totally different solution than what you expect it to be to start with. So that's one great thing about Indian Americans. Some of them have their kids in school already, so they've gone through this process.
Yeah.
Some of them are going through this process. So there's a huge, diverse thought process there, and I think that is one thing that we don't leverage in the U.S. because of the fact that the Indian Americans are not stepping forward to to help their peers, come out with their thought process and putting those thoughts in the forefront of the public office.
Yeah.
So that is one thing we are missing out on.
Yeah.
And the disadvantage is Indian Americans, we as Indian Americans, we tend to work hard. So that's something else. So we are working hard in our jobs. I mean, not that I meant
others don't. Yeah, of course, everybody does. Yeah,
everyone does, but we are so hardworking on the particular job or duty that we are given on a daily basis. We don't want to look out our sphere of influence and go out there and pursue opportunities which matter most to the society around us.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We are famous for putting our heads down and just doing the work the best we can, rather than really getting up and saying, hey, I have more powers than I think, so let me make a change. I think that's a really, really spectacular point that you bring up, and definitely, and there's a big talent pool. So I'm glad, the more diverse pool we can choose from for our political solutions, I think that will definitely make it better. So I think more power to you, really, really. So I also saw that somewhere in your list, there was this public-private partnership ideas that you were thinking about. I mean, is that also something that you're looking to bring revenue to Shrewsbury?
Yes, in fact, we have seen multiple opportunities there where there could be an innovation hub that could be created, an innovation center that we could create for our kids in school, who go through these programs and who are aspiring to become the engineers or the space scientists in the future. We want to bring that partnership to our town, because we have some great institutions within Massachusetts, such as MIT labs, or you take the Harvards and the MITs of the world, and also some of the best pharma companies that have come up with innovative solutions in the recent past. Thinking about COVID, be it COVID or other public health issues they have been able to resolve. So I think we have that talent pool that we can leverage in Massachusetts. I mean, the diverse company portfolio that we could bring and set up an innovation center or a hub to help the local students aspire in their into whatever they want to become in the future.
Fantastic. So I think listening to you, I think Indian Americans should vote for you, not just because you come from, their homeland as well. They share the birth. I know you have lived all over India. I know you were born in Guntur, but you have traveled all over India, lived everywhere, and you bring those kind of experiences to it. But really, because you seem to be an out-of-box thinker who seems to be confident to make a change in Shrewsbury. So when you finish your term, what do you hope Shrewsbury will look like?
That's an excellent question. Actually, there were several analogies of how we should be looking at, and one of our thought process was um, uh, we are like the Cambridge of Worcester. So, because of the fact that Cambridge and Boston are separated by the Charles River,
Yeah.
just like that, Worcester and Shrewsbury are separated by the Quinsigamond Lake. So we are what Cambridge is to Boston, we are to Worcester, and Worcester is the next upcoming city in Massachusetts that's growing at a very fast pace because of global warming, because of the issues in Boston, traffic issues, and other challenges with regards to the city growth. So everything is being pushed onto the into the west to Worcester, and Worcester development in the past few years. If you look at the downtown, it has really had a facelift. And similarly, we want to do something similar to Shrewsbury as well, but we want to learn from the experience of what Cambridge went through. Being a similar society of schools,
Yeah.
a similar town with a lot of importance for schools, how they went through their growth phase. We want to implement some of those best practices and make sure we stand up to that level in the future.
Fantastic. Any final message for our audience here?
Sure. Well, with 20 years of IT experience and a graduate degree from Harvard and managing my own business, I believe I can bring a unique and differentiated skill set that will allow me to perform my roles and responsibilities of a selectman above and beyond the potential performance of my competitors. So do go there, vote, support me, and also try to cast in your vote on May 3rd. Thank you so much.
So May 3rd is the election, and they can, if they want to support you in other ways, so rajup.us is the website for them to learn about you. And we hope they will all not only go to vote themselves, but tell their friends and bring them over to the voting booth as well. So great talking to you, Raj, and more power to you. I know that it is not trivial to give back to the community, and that you have decided to do that. It's truly inspirational. We look forward to another interview when you become selectman to see how the journey is going. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much for having me here.